Good day, everyone. So, last meeting, our topic was about cybercrime. So, today we will talk about violence against women and reproductive health. So, women are commonly the victims of violence in any form, whether it is emotional, psychological, physical, economic abuse. So, what are the main reasons of those abuses? So, one of the reasons why women are commonly the victims of abuses because they are weaker than men emotionally, psychologically, physically weaker than men, and of course the society do not really give equal kumbaga equal treatment to women compared to men. So there are things that men can do that women can't do because of our society or the standards of our society. So, gender perspective in health. So, individual health and well-being of both male and female is integral to development. So, mental health, um, individual health is integral to development. So, it is important to development. So, there are aspects in our life as human being that needs to be developed. So health plays an important role for the development of those aspects. So for example, um, our when it comes to education, can we develop ourselves or earn education if we are not in good health? So no, because it'll be a hindrance for us to learn. So it is important for us to have a good health. That's why it plays an important role in development. Right to health is basic human right. So right to health, it is actually one of the 5 basics right during our childhood. So even napatasatian sa atong mama, we have the rights na for health. That's why mothers are actually consulting to centers for checkup like prenatal, like postnatal. We have this also the ultrasound to see if maging complicated ba ang kinabuhi sa bata. We have the right to health. We have the right to survive. We have the right to security. So those are the basic human rights. Gender inequality and healthcare are interrelated. So in what way na si gender inequality is connected to healthcare? So in our society, actually nowadays we have this existing institutions so caters isang isang gender. Like for example, mother and child in Johnson, it is actually a center that caters only mothers and children. If I am not mistaken, August Hospital also caters children. Before, they only cater children. And another, there are also institutions who actually hindi masyadong kumbaga sa Bisaya, di sila ganahan ng genders or di discriminate other genders. That's why it will also affect our healthcare. It can cause or it can really cause stress, so depression, and other problems, anxiety. So that's it. That's why it is related to healthcare. Significance of violence against women. Unequal status of women in society. So I guess have you heard na I mean, you have heard na in our history, women do not have equal rights compared to men. They do not have rights for education, for to join political activity, to work. So that's it. So and also even nowadays there are also employers who do not accept women because they believe that men can do uh, better job performance than women. So that's it. Kasi in the mindset of uh, Pinoy, women are galamyaon, weak compared to men. So that's why um, for example in employment we do not give the same treatment compared to men. So serious violations of human rights. So when it comes to human rights, women are commonly the most abused. So na-rape na gipatay pag yun. So they are abused. So another victims of human trafficking na kulong pag yun. So that's it. In society we cannot kasi na we are very much abusing the right of a woman. Leads to range of health problem. So there are situations na we abuse them, na todo-todo nga pagka-abuse, and it will lead to different problems na psychological and emotional. So here naka-open and close parenthesis, often in silence, like victims of battery. So our wife, so pila na day siya katuig nga nagaanto sa iyahang bana. So that's why they are when we deal with them, they are very much emotional, gahilak gid sila. So that's it, because they keep their emotions for too long. Pressure on medical care resources. So nowadays this is not a problem na, because there are agencies who are only giving or focusing on health of women. So like sa example ko a while ago, the mother and child. So and of course the government also provided different programs and services for the health of women. Prenatal, mandatory, prenatal, postnatal, free na siya sa centers. But the ultrasound is not free. They also have this sa centers na sila free na tambal if they need, for example, they need to take ferrous. So libre na siya ginatag sa centers. So that's it. That's why nowadays this is not a big problem. The medical healthcare resources, and of course for women who are about to give birth, that is not a big problem na din, because we have this PhilHealth under the National Healthcare Law or the Universal Healthcare Law. We have the right to be in hospital na may because we have this PhilHealth na, whether it is we paid it, or emergency PhilHealth. Healthcare institutions can make significant contributions to addressing violence against women and supporting clinicians and clients. So healthcare institutions can make a significant contribution. So, for example, there are institutions who are actually catering services for, or providing services for women who are sexually abused. For example, is rape victim. So there are institutions na nag-provide ng medical legal. So they are also playing a big role. So they are playing a big role when it comes to fighting or combating against violence, against abuses involving women. So because medical legal is actually a requirement to prove na or to see the physical condition of women who are a victim of rape. So various forms of violence against women, the rape, sexual violence in refugee camps, or rape mismo, or sexual violence. So sexual harassment, rape. So those are examples of sexual abuses. So commonly babae ang involved. So forced sexual initiation or abuse. So forced initiation, whether it is by force, with threats, and other reasons. So it is still kumbaga a form of sexual abuse. Acid throwing, honor killing, Dory related deaths. So acid throwing, so karang mga situations na namagid ni siya, nag-exist yun siya nga cases na ang babae, especially katong in a case, in a situation na ang babae is giyabuhan og asido sa isa ka gay because of jealousy. So it is under physical abuse against women. So undue virginity examinations, for cesarean section deliveries. So in cases na hindi kumbaga makaya man siya og normal delivery for pregnant women. So makaya man siya delivery or normal delivery. But because mas dako og bayad ang cesarean, there are doctors na, or there are hospitals na mag-recommend og cesarean. Na kumbaga karang dili man gyud or makaya lang man ta sa normal delivery. And of course, it is an abuse because it will cause stress sa mother. Like for example, for those women na hadlok og operations. So i-force pag nimo nga pag-cesarean nga makaya lang man og normal delivery. But there are also situations na it is kumbaga the cesarean operations or procedure is the only way to save the mother and the baby. That's why they have to force the mother to undergo the operation. So trafficking in women and girls. So very common, or mostly the victims of human trafficking is actually women, because I think we have discussed human trafficking already. So commonly the victims of human trafficking are women because again they are less capable of fighting against the perpetrators. They are kumbaga emotionally weak and can be threatened easily. So that's it. So this is in India. So this is a cycle. So from pre-birth or sex selective abortion, infancy, male, infanticide neglect, childhood, child abuse and malnutrition. So kumbaga, this is the effects of kumbaga the cycle of violence and its effects in every stages like pre-birth, sex selective abortion, kumbaga unpreparedness, for example rape victim, then nabuntis, then there are possibilities na ipa-abort ang bata. Or next is infancy, female infanticide neglect, kumbaga in other cases na na-rape sila, nabuntis sila, nanganak sila, they do not love or they do not kumbaga accept the child. So ikaw ba naman ang isex sa maot og buwongs tapos magkaanak pagid ka dito nga di man nimo kaila, so that's it will really cause stress to the mother, so it will result in neglection of the child. Then since you cannot or you don't like or you do not accept the child, it will also cause malnutrition sa bata and neglection or child abuse. So there are stories na kay na-rape siya, dili niya accept ang bata pud sige pud og wonder nganong ingan na iyang mother, nganong dili siya love sa iyang mother. So that's it. Adolescence, forced prostitution, trafficking, forced early marriage, psychological abuse and rape. Then reproductive age, honor killings, dowry killings, intimate partner violence. So during reproductive age, this will be the effects. And elderly widow abuse. So fatal outcome, kumbaga related to violence against women, connected to health issues. Fatal outcome or pinakadelikadong kalalabasan will be suicide or homicide. So because of this violence na wala na siya na kumbaga wala na respond na tagag interventions at early stage, it will cause depression which will also cause suicide. So of course the homicide, when it kumbaga either mapatay ang babae or siya ang makapatay because of those abuses. So syempre you are in the situation na there are chances na pwede ka pati yun sa perpetrator na gani mga wife nga napatay silang bana, and of course napoy mga bana nga napatay silang asawa because of abuses. There are parents na napatay silang anak na babae because of exploitation. So that's it. So non-fatal outcomes or dili siya delikado, but also it will really hurt women. So injury, PID, unwanted pregnancy, miscarriage or mahulugan or malaglagan, and gynec disease. Like for example, na rape or rape victim na naka-acquire og HIV, tapos or STDs or sexually transmitted diseases. So na-acquire nila from the perpetrators, and there are also cases na mga samad ang inside part sa ilahang genitals because of rape. Mental, depression, anxiety, sexual dysfunction, personality disorder. So, depression, syempre pag mahilag, according to Elizabeth Ramsey, pag ma-rape siya, happy siya. So, of course, pag dili pud ta happy, of course, it will cause depression. It will cause anxiety. Sexual dysfunction. So, sexual dysfunction is actually a, kumbaga, it is a dysfunction, kumbaga, when it comes to reproductive health of a women. So, there are cases na nabuntis, nagpalaglag, then dili na sila mabuntis. There are also cases na na-rape sila. They have this anxiety, this depression. Then, tong time nga nagninyo sila, every time nga makipag-intercourse sila silang partner, ma-remember nila tong time nga gina-rape sila, mawalaan na sila og gana. Or, they can develop fear of having sex. So, that is sexual dysfunction. And of course, personality disorders. So, have you ever watched a movie entitled I Spit on Your Grave? So, in the beginning, you're actually a good person, or the main character is actually a good person. So, at the end, baga mura siya naging psycho because of her experiences. So, ginapatay na niya, naging killer na noon siya. So, that's it. Kumbaga, psychologically affected na gid siya sa iyang experience. Because dili pod basta-basta ang abuses nga nagian niya. Factors contributing to women and to violence against women. Strictly enforced gender roles. So, strictly enforced. So, in situations like before, women are actually, in our history, women are nasa bahay lang, nasa balay, doing household chores, dili dapat magtrabaho, dili dapat mag-eskwela, dili dapat magtrabaho. So, madala na siya in modern times. So, madala na siya. And actually, even maybe nowadays, in some traditions and cultures, nagyapon na siya. So, strictly, nabutang naman gud sa atong mindset na women are actually assigned to do household chores. That's why, strictly enforced gender roles. Role sa babae ang limpyo sa balay, ang magstay sa balay. Then, i-enforce po na sa to ang parents or sa to ang bana. That's why ang ato ang kumbaga na-abuse pod ang rights sa babae. So ang babae or ang asawa dapat na lang sa balay, dili magtrabaho. Tapos ang babae gusto kay magtrabaho. Gusto kay mag-eskwela, pero di siya paskwelahon. So that's it. Association of masculinity with toughness and dominance. So, a while ago, I told you na kumbaga women are weaker than men. So, this is that example is belong to association of masculinity with toughness and dominance. So, women or men are actually has this kumbaga dominance compared to women. But nowadays, hindi man gid siya kay karon gamay ko sa babae, pwede na ta makulong lalaki. Gamayng hapak, bisag for the char lang, pwede na ta makasuhan. under physical abuse. Gamayng maling storya lang, pwede nito kasuhan under emotional and psychological abuse. Dili lang takahatag og support sa ato ang mga asawa, kung naman tay asawa, pwede nito kasuhan og economic abuse. So ingana na siya ka-sensitive karon. Punishment of women and children as an accepted value. So when it comes to punishment, actually, especially in our laws, we have this equality, whether you are men or women. But children, actually, they have this lighter punishment compared to men and women. So that's it. Violence accepted as a standard way of resolve conflicts. Stress associated with poverty. So, of course, stress man gyud is actually dili man in all situation, but commonly poverty causes stress. Mapababae man ka, mapalalaki, bata, tiguang. So, but in women, since they are kumbaga, ilaw ng tahanan, they are actually, supposedly, in Filipino culture, si papa ang mangitag kwarta, si mama ang magunit sa kwarta. That's why poverty is maging stress po siya sa women, sa mother. And of course, there are situations na ang isa ka babae is a single mother. So wala siya trabaho, mas stress siya unsa yang ipang support sa iyang anak. So it is poverty related stress. So that's all for today. Or for this we will we will continue for the next discussion. We will discuss about children. So since nagtalk na ta about women, dito na po sa child abuse. So bawsi kumbaga. So if you have questions, you can ask on our GC.